So one of the programs that used to be funded by the Rotary Foundation was a program called Group Study Exchange. If you know what Group Study Exchange was, raise your hand. Okay, so for those of you who don't, it was a Rotarian and then 4 non-Rotarians between the ages of 25 and 40 who would go to another district for a month, and it was a cultural and business exchange. And we've had them from Mexico, Brazil, India, Nigeria, Vietnam, and I believe your sister went out. Carrie, did your sister go to Japan?
Oh, yeah.
And so,
she just got married and had a baby over there.
there you go. So, and Carrie's sister went to Japan. Now, it's not a program that exists in that iteration anymore. It's kind of morphed to vocational training team. But our very own Andreas went out a while ago, and he's got a 10-minute program. He said it's packed with slides, but he's going to go fast. Andreas.
This isn't counting the first 10 minutes. All right, here we go. So back in 2007, I was invited to go to the Group Study Exchange program to southern Chile. And I went down there for a month, and I was living in Weaverville, so my club was 5160, and Southern Chile Club district is 4350. And these are all the places I went in southern Chile. It was a very packed trip. And latitude, if Arcata latitude is right about here, so it's kind of similar climate and setting. All right. So, raise your hand if you know that promoting peace is one of the major missions of the Rotary Foundation. Okay, that's good. There's also other things that I would do. But the peace, promoting peace, that's where these exchange programs come from. That's why Finn and Jens are here, to promote cultural exchange and other things. And that's how we promote peace. And so the Group Study Exchange, not here anymore, but there's several other exchange programs out there to take advantage of. All right, so this was my team. It's been a while, you can tell. Anyway, that's Pat Frost on the left there. He was the leader, and he's the one who invited me, and I pretty much knew nothing about a Rotary Club before he asked me to go on this trip to Chile for a month, so I said, let's go. And then while we were there, there happened to be another group from Argentina that was basically had a very similar schedule to ours, so we kept bumping into them. And then the California club hosted our Chileans the summer before, or I mean that same summer. Okay, so partly it's a professional exchange, so we get down there and we got to tour. For each club member, they tried to pair us with other professionals that were doing similar things, so we got to kind of understand things, and I was doing a lot of water resources work. Also, I was restoring rivers for salmon, and so they took me out to a salmon farm, and they have this really high-tech mussel processing facility. They grow mussels, a lot of aquaculture out there. One of our members was a teacher, and so we got to visit lots of schools and see how they do things down there. The other part of this project, beyond that, was to actually facilitate Rotary to Rotary Club exchanges and look for international projects to do. And so everywhere we went, we got the tour of the place and got to meet the people, and we got to see all the projects, especially projects that they were trying to do. This one was a free dental clinic for kids in need, and you walk in there and it's like, it's really scary looking. Anyway, this is one of the projects out of all the ones that we toured that we paired with, and one of the dentists out of the California got when he was upgrading his office, and so we sent a full suite of brand new dental or slightly used dental equipment down, and so they completely renovated this with new equipment. One of the other projects down there, the Rotary Club is actually funding ambulances and ambulance services, and I had to put this picture there. They heat everything down in Chile with wood. This is the wood pile to heat the hospital. All right. Other projects we saw senior centers. There was a computer lab that the Rotary Club put together. I didn't have a picture of it, but the other project that 5160 sponsored, the international project, was an Indigenous Women's Weaving Collective that we went to go tour, and that was really neat. So, all right, something about the clubs. Chile was predominantly men's clubs up until 5 or 10 years before we got there. So about half the clubs we went to were men's clubs, well, maybe less than half. There were men's, mixed, but there was also a women's club. This is the Women's Club of Temuco, all women, really cool. The Rotary clubhouses, they ranged from very modest to very fancy. Most of them had a bar. And they make really good wine in Chile. All right, it was packed. This is a typical schedule. We wake up at 6, out the door at 7, had stuff going on all day long. And then most of the clubs down there are evening clubs. They meet. You show up at 7 for happy hour, socializing. Dinner's at about 8:30. You do not mix club business and dinner. That just does not happen. Meeting starts at 9:30. After the meeting, you have the after party. And then you get home around midnight, and then you wake up at 6 and start over again. So, and the wine is really good. And you're very tired. I was doing that for a month. So at the Rotary meetings, there was the requisite, flag exchange, and we all had to get up and talk about ourselves. And if you'll notice, I'm reading off of a card because I had to do this in Spanish, and I was the only member of the team that didn't actually speak Spanish. So they were usually able to pair me with families that spoke English or German, so I got along. And there's also always technical difficulties. And lots of meeting of people and hobnobbing. But if you don't speak Spanish and they can't pair you with somebody, and you're sitting through a 3 or 4 hour long meeting, there's nobody to talk to. That's what that looks like. We also had time to have fun, and got to participate in some of the local culture. One of the big local cultures is barbecue. This is almost a lot of Rotarians had a barbecue pit like this built into their house. This is one of them, and we had lots of wine and lots of barbecue, and hands down, best meat I've ever had is in Chile. All right, we were also treated like local celebrities. We actually were on TV here at one point. I quickly passed the mic since I don't speak Spanish. But not only were we on TV, we got to meet the mayors. We got to, we were the highlights of the town for the day or two that we were there. And the clubs just showed us, they all tried to show us a really good time. So we got to tour a lot of places. So they have port cities like we do. And just, this is kind of what some of their cities look like. We got to go on history tours. They have these amazing wooden churches all over. This is in far southern Chile. They've got, they have mountains. Obviously, there are mountains everywhere in Chile. They got lots of mountains, and ranching is big as well. So, starting to remind you of home a little bit. They also have volcanoes, which we have a little bit further inland, and they have some really nice forests. These are the Alceres trees, which are cousins of the redwood. They get really big. And they actually have, these are native forests of monkey puzzle trees that were all around the base of one of the volcanoes that we visited. So it's pretty cool. They also have amazing rivers, and they have salmon. We don't have glaciers. They do have that on top of it. And we don't have the penguins either, but they have penguins out there too. And the similar climate, foggy, cold. All right, but I mean, you could. This is almost a picture you can get locally. I mean, it just really reminds you of here. And so I'm just going to put in a plug, like totally different place, different culture, different people, but also a lot of similarities. If there's ever an interest in like a sister district, I'm putting in the plug. All right. One of the fundraisers that they had, that we went to, they called it a Toronto. It was a big seafood dinner feast, and it was amazing. So I wanted to show you pictures and see if it generates any ideas for us. So got all the mussels and the different shellfish, cleaned them all up. There was some baking, or some baked goods being prepped. Then this is the way they made it. They have a big pit in the ground. They line it with coals. There's the mussels on the ground after they got washed, and then we stick them all in. Then you put the baked goods on top, and then you put some plastic over it, cover it with dirt, and let it cook. And then you have a big feast. And it was really, really good. And I'm almost done. It's not bad.
We're taking that time off.
Okay. So then you have a good time and you eat everything that was there, and like I still to this day don't know what that was, but there was a lot of these. I think they were barnacles. Anyway, there was stuff there I didn't know what it was.
Did you eat it?
I did. Yeah, it was good.
Was there wine?
Lots of wine. You can see it right there. Every picture of food, there's always a wine bottle and wine. Nope, this was out of order. That was the cleaning of mussels. And then, yeah, so this is the southern tip of Chile, looking towards Antarctica, and that's it.